Welcome everybody. Today I'm going to be talking to you and sharing with you how to make dairy kefir. I love dairy kefir. It's one of the most powerful ferments that we can be adding in to our every day. The benefits of dairy kefir are many. Because we're using dairy, the B vitamins, vitamin D, vitamin K2, folate, things like that are just amplified through the fermentation process. So we're getting those as well as all the good bugs that the fermentation process gives to us. And as we know, fermented foods help with detoxification in the body, repopulating our microbiome, which is our good bugs that are critical for our immune system and our overall well-being. So I'm going to show you how easy it is, and dairy kefir especially, even more simple than the water kefir or kimchi and ferments such as that. So here I have an already fermented kefir, which is ready to go. And how you know if the fermentation and the kefir is ready to go is you will start to get the separation between the dairy and the culture itself. So you can see here the actual fermentation. You can see there's little bubbles that start to come up, the bit of liquid and the separation. So if you smell it, it's got a kind of sour smell. You'll know if it's off because it will just absolutely stink. You won't want to put your nose anywhere near it. So that's what it looks like. Now, to prepare it, it's just a matter of separating the culture, the kefir grains, from the dairy and the ferment itself. So I've got a colander, which is enamel based. Here we are. I'm just going to pop that all into the colander, and you can see that it looks like that. And then I'm going to pull the grains out and give them a rinse under filtered water. So now I'm going to rinse the grains under the filtered water. So we've got a filter system, and I'm just going to rinse them just to get most of the ferment off. So they're just gently rinse them because they are a living organism. The culture itself, you can see, it's a colony of the bacteria. They grow really quickly. They feed off the sugars that are in the milk, and they really like to have a coolish temperature. I keep mine in the pantry out of direct light. So just place those into a clean jar, and we'll just finish off. There's a bit more in here. So that's all done. Now I'm going to take this back to the bench. So we've got the culture ready to go. Now we are just going to get the kefir and pop that into a clean jar as well. So because it's quite thick and chunky, as you saw, I tend to do this to kind of get it through the sieve and to thin it off a bit so it's ready to drink. So that's done. And it is a little bit messy. I'm usually doing this over at the sink, but for this demonstration I'm doing it at the bench. So let's pop that back. So if you see, there's the kefir, and I've got a clean glass here. So this is going to be our kefir ready to drink. There we go. So there it is, and I'll tidy that up in a moment. But now we have the grains, so that's ready to go. I'm going to put a lid on it. I'm actually going to share some with my crew. We're going to taste it in a moment. So now we have the grains. So what do we do with these? Usually to about a tablespoon of the kefir grains to a cup of milk is what we need. So I have about probably about 3 tablespoons there. I'm using an unpasteurized milk, and all I do is I just roughly estimate probably about 3 cups there, and that's it, ready to go. I'm going to put the muslin cloth back on the top. So it's all ready for fermenting, and then I'll leave that for probably a couple of days. I'll keep checking it. In the cooler weather, it can take longer, maybe 3 days. But generally it's about 2 days, and I'm going to keep that in the pantry out of the direct light so it can sit there and do its thing. And then that's it, we have the kefir ready to go, and I usually have roughly 1/4 cup a day. If your digestive system's a little bit compromised, then I'd probably recommend having it a couple of times a day. If you're also having other fermented foods like sauerkraut or kombucha, kimchi, things like that, then probably just 1 cup is fine. It tastes quite sour initially, maybe a little bit of time to get used to, but it's so good for us, and I actually feel quite satiated and good after having it. So enjoy it, and I hope your children love it as well. And I'll just actually say, for the kids, I put it into their smoothies, so that's a great way to get them introduced to the more sour flavour, because smoothies are a great way to be adding in these good foods. So enjoy, and cheers.